Well, since it's that time, a little bit of a bittersweet moment on my behalf. I'd like to begin at this point to basically welcome everyone to our GTSWCA 2021 AGM, virtual edition, volume 2, as my colleagues just alluded to. It was a year ago that COVID-19, the pandemic, ceased to control our lives. Never in my wildest dreams would I have imagined that we would still be interacting via video screens. Admittedly, it has come to be necessary, convenient, and as well very progressive. Personally, I miss the in-person connection and the emotional uplift that we get from social interaction. Sadly, our daily lives have been fundamentally altered. A simple handshake, a warm hug, a shared meal, a drink with a friend or colleague have all been dearly missing for far too long. This pandemic has and continues to cause tremendous social and economic impacts on our personal lives as well as our industry. It has challenged us as an association to adapt and change our way of communicating, organizing, lobbying, and fundamentally operating. And yet, throughout all this turmoil, our association has flourished. Along the way, we have had to make some tough decisions, but all to better the association. We completed a successful renovation and expansion at our head office. Hopefully, as COVID restrictions loosen, we can all begin to benefit and appreciate the much needed improvements. One of the key additions is the new training facility for our members' future use. Details will follow. We also strengthened our internal organization under the dynamic and exceptional leadership of our Executive Director, Mr. Patrick McManus, and his team. We are most definitely in, as the all-state commercial states, in good hands. Their dedication, professionalism, ongoing performance continues to strengthen us, especially during these unsettled and unprecedented times. I've been in this industry for over 40 years. I have watched our association evolve and readjust to meet the ever-changing needs of the industry. This past year, these words had a new meaning. Our association had to adapt in ways we could never have imagined. We were challenged to rethink traditional approaches to addressing industry issues and prompted a revision of strategy for success in the new COVID-19 environment. From the very onset of this pandemic, we were challenged with a number of critical industry issues. For example, previously allocated municipal infrastructure funding was being redirected to cover operational funding deficits by many municipal governments. In response, our association, along with the OSWCA, partnered with a number of other key construction associations and labor organizations. Together, we met with over 50 federal MPs and provincial MPPs to bring awareness to this critical industry issue. Independent lobbyists were also hired to supplement our work on Parliament Hill and Queen's Park. As a result of these collective efforts, the federal government announced $695 million for municipalities to help them bring their 2020 operational budgets into balance, along with an additional $800 million committed specifically to Ontario infrastructure. This, my friends, was a direct result of the lobbying work that we had done to that point. Subsequently, the province also announced $500 million for municipalities also struggling to cope with the financial impact of the COVID-19. This much needed funding allowed municipalities to rebalance their budgets for both operational and capital needs. Now, yet, despite the immediate pressures as a result of COVID, given the commitments to infrastructure investment, the long-term outlook for the industry remains incredibly strong. The Ontario budget 2021 committed was $61.6 billion over 10 years for transit and more than $21 billion over 10 years towards planning and or constructing of highway expansions and rehabilitation projects. The City of Toronto too just kicked off its 2021 construction season, with Mayor John Tory announcing more than $1 billion in work planned for roads, bridges, expressways, TTC tracks, and sewer and water mains. Approximately $446 million will be spent on rehabilitating and improving the transportation infrastructure system, including $140 million on bridges, culverts, and other transportation infrastructure in the municipal right-of-way. As well, another $660 million will be invested in water infrastructure, including $240 million on water mains, transmission water mains, and water services, $98 million on sewers and force mains, $150 million on basement flooding projects, protection projects, and $128 million on stormwater management projects, including the Don River and the Central Waterfront. These growing and significant commitments to infrastructure investment and improvement truly emphasize the importance of having an association represent our collective needs and interests. They help to influence public policy and to make the operating environment for those in the sewer and water main sector more streamlined, efficient, prosperous, and productive. At this point, I would also like to highlight some of the other accomplishments of the association in relation to the impact of COVID-19 on our industry. Number one, exempting the Construction Act from the suspension of limitations period, which had temporarily required owners to withhold our contractors' holdbacks. Two, amended the WSIB's approach to COVID-19 claims, which were initially set to form a part of the individual employer's records. And most importantly, three, ensuring construction was exempt from the December 2020 province-wide shutdown. On that note, our advocacy efforts and ability to demonstrate our sector's health and safety record and our significantly low transmission rates within the sector, amongst others, ensured that our sector would be treated differently with respect to imposing legislative decisions or stricter measures. These examples continue to truly demonstrate the influence of our association, as it played a critical and influential role in the success of these important industry legislative decisions. And although this past year was likely the most unconventional and challenging year we will face as an association, it is perhaps one of the most important ones we have faced as an organization. Once again, our association played a critical role in keeping the industry open and operating. At this point, I would like to say a few final thank yous. To my fellow board members, thank you for your ongoing support. Albeit it has been an extremely challenging 2 years. Never has a group needed to be as proactive, objective, and cohesive during these difficult times. Your experience, enthusiasm, and commitment to this association has allowed us to be who we are today. I am very proud and honored to be a part of such an exceptional group of industry leaders. To my colleagues on the board who continuously encouraged and eventually persuaded me to accept this noble role. The experience is all that you said it would be, and then some. Personally, it has been extremely rewarding and a true eye-opener as to how this association represents our industry and what it does on a day in and day out. To our staff, Patrick, Krisha, Narissa, Margaret, Daniela, and to our most recent addition, Stephen. Thank you for your ongoing support, specifically during these unorthodox, unconventional, at times uncomfortable, very frustrating, and yes, very, 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 very demanding times. You've made my journey much smoother, far less bumpy than I can ever imagined, and thank you for putting up with me. On a personal note, I would like to take the opportunity to thank TAC Construction, and most importantly, the principals, Mr. Carlo and Silvio de Gasperis, for allowing me to experience this unforgettable journey. Their ongoing patience, understanding, and commitment to this great association is greatly appreciated. And finally, I would like to wish my successor, Mr. Vince Ricciuti, your new presidente, as we like to call us, the best of luck. I truly appreciated your support these past 2 years, and I offer my support on your upcoming term. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been truly honored and humbled to serve as your president. I would like to leave you with one last thought as we embark on the next chapter. Remember, our accomplishments today are only as good as what we can do tomorrow. Thank you all. Stay well and stay safe, everyone. Thank you.